I don't.
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming tonight.
Was there somebody coming?
Here's, I believe,
Sarah.
just starting.
Mm.
So item one is apologies for absence. I have apologies from Councillor Buckley. Any more?
Councillor Miller.
Miller. That's it.
Kelly, was she coming?
Okay, that's it. Item two is declarations of interest. Does anybody have any? I see none. Item three is public participation. I see none. So item four is to receive any interest relating to the business to be transacted at the meeting and approve any recommendations when there is. Okay, item one is to approve the notes of the town committee meeting held on the 23rd of July 2024. I mean, no, just item 4 minutes at the moment. Which is the first three.
Any declarations of interest?
I have no declarations of interest.
Did anybody have any comments on the notes of the town community committee meeting on the 23rd of July? That's Everton.
You got any of the discussion about the bus shuttles, but it's already part of an agenda, isn't it? Talk about bus shuttles,
Yeah.
refurbishment.
Yeah.
The only other thing was the BE day. That's from the next day. That thing, but yeah.
Events, okay. Let's do T&C first.
So
All those in favour of approving those notes? Thank you. It's carried. Item two is to note the minutes of the events subcommittee meeting held on Tuesday, the 3rd of September 2024. Councillor Dodds.
Could I ask how the meeting went today with the market traders?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can. Yeah, it was well attended, quite lively,
Yes.
lots of interest and lots of opinions on the plans. We showed some plans of different layouts, which we talked about and discussed quite fully. I think it went on for about an hour and a half.
Gosh, yeah.
So good, lots of opinions, lots of talking about what would be the best way
Yeah.
forward, and we are going to convene another meeting in 2 weeks once we're going to go back to some more ideas on layout, incorporation of all the feedback which we have from them.
Okay. Did you talk about the road closures? Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want it.
They don't want it.
No, I think it's detrimental to trade.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's what I was
Yeah.
going to mention that.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah, okay.
because they park and unload on that side, they'd have to wait for all the vehicles to clear before they would then pitch up.
yeah,
So
there's lots of thought about that, and
Mm.
they decided that it wouldn't be something they'd want. So that's what it led us on to talking about. Okay, well, if not that, then
Yeah.
you know we can fit everyone in, but how best do we do
Yeah.
that? Taking in all of the feedback. So it was a constructive.
Great.
It was lively as well.
Used to
So
be,
you know,
yeah.
lots of opinions and
Mm.
the like. So
So we think likely just a case of bunching up a bit.
yeah, just getting all the right people in all the right places.
Yeah.
And moving that. They come up with some good suggestions about the positions of the huts as well. So it was constructive.
Any
Nice
meeting
to meet
again
you
in
then.
2
Good.
2
weeks?
weeks, yeah.
Right, okay.
Okay, great. Councillor Hoskins.
Do you think that you might have to change some of your approaches?
Yeah. Yeah, we will. We're going to incorporate the feedback which we had today
Okay,
and work out, you know, whether the suggestions are the best suggestions for everyone. So
good,
so,
good, well done.
yeah, it's good. It was a good meeting.
Oh, okay. Any other comments on the notes of the event subcommittee meeting? Propose we note those minutes then, all those in favour? Carried. And then the third one is to note the minutes of the Henley and Bloom subcommittee meeting held on the 5th of September 2024. Any comments on that? I see none.
Work to do.
Sarah, Councillor Candaya.
Thank you very much. Sorry, it's really great to see the funding for community grants. I know there was one application. Has there been any others since? Or how do you think
Um,
marketing is?
Not since, but it is, I mean, it is, an ongoing fund that people can apply to at any time.
Okay,
So we will keep putting it out there on this position.
brilliant.
Thank you. Any further comments? Those in favour? Right, item 5, communications manager update. Lucy not with us this evening, but did anybody have any comments? Councillor Dodds,
Right, Adventure Golf.
Adventure Golf.
Yes, there's an awful lot here about her strategy and Google listing and QR codes and everything. But what I would like to know is outcomes. So what effect did that have on the number of people who have used it? I'd like some numbers, really.
Yeah.
The difficulty with outcomes is being able to control the various factors. So for example, weather is a major one. So she might be able to say, do a really big social media blitz, and then the following weekend you have 200% more people turning up. But it's because it's a sunny day, whereas 2 weeks before it was a rainy day. So it is very difficult to kind of to kind of correlate the success with
But over a period of time, you could do it over in 5
Indeed,
weeks.
and-
I mean, that's.
and we do have the-
presumably
so we
what
have
the
the
trend is.
so we have the income chart for the
yeah.
event golf, which are presented regularly. In fact, I think they're next being presented next week to
Okay.
FSM. So they are presented regularly with the management account, so we can see kind of any general trends.
Yes.
And if there are particular pushes, say for corporate bookings, that might be something that is easier to assess.
Yeah.
But Daisy has mentioned kind of website traffic, which is a good. It's not tickets being bought, but it does kind of like show.
We do know how many tickets are being bought, don't we?
Well, indeed, yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
That's what it'll be on.
But it's ascribing those, being able to ascribe those ticket sales to a particular intervention.
Oh, well, it's a
Which is the
trend,
difficult
isn't
thing
it?
to do.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Presumably we can measure though how many people do scan the QR code. That I would think we can track.
It depends on I think I think if you pay for the QR code, then I think maybe you can. I'm not entirely sure to be honest. But you can do things like, for example, if you're in a discount code and you see that discount code. So there are other ways that we can.
So I was down there with my family and it was incredibly busy. It really was, one after another. And my granddaughter spent the whole time fishing the balls out of the water. And taking them round, and we said, oh, it's saving your job.
I've played it twice this year, and the most recent time, we had to wait for funds to be
Yes,
up to
it
you.
is very, very popular. And interviewing the sort of 13, 14-year-old boys coming back, because is it something they like? They really like. They like to do it. And I think your loyalty card is a really good idea.
I think it's true though that the weather by far makes the biggest difference as with anything.
Yeah, but
Any other comments on the communications?
well, I do
manager
have
update?
another. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Another question.
Yep.
Working with Tank 2, fine. To move the council website into WordPress. Sorry, but I haven't got a clue what that means. What the benefits of that is.
It's easier to edit.
Easier to edit. I mean, it would be quite nice. I am a complete nerd about techie stuff, and many people aren't. And I would sort of like it in much more layman's language and expressing it. I haven't got a clue what that means nothing to me. I read move the council website to WordPress. Okay, so the benefits are that we can, as you've explained. Yeah.
WordPress is an open platform that we could theoretically control much more granularly than we can with the current system, which is a proprietary system.
Lovely. And you guys, techie guys, know that. I'm a layman.
I knew that when we made the first decision, but I've so far resisted and I told you so. Councillor Candia.
Yeah, no, so thanks for the communications update. I think it's always helpful when there are references to I have created this or I have done this with posters. It's just helpful to have examples of those. So if, and I think we have requested this in the past, like more web links to be put in. So it's just a general, we'd love to see what it is that is being done in an otherwise attachments, or if they are website links, to put a link to the Visit Henley website. Great that there is a BBC article here. I suppose there's also a question about this tree removal. So I would hope that we're also talking about tree replacement. So I don't understand what the tree removal reference is.
So this is a large, might be a horse chestnut
It's
down.
chestnut, disease chestnut.
Yeah, down by the River and Rome Museum. That was felled, I think it was either earlier this week or last week. Which was, yeah, so just proactively letting people know
That's
about
great.
what's happening, why it's happening.
Brilliant.
And yeah, I can't remember if it mentioned replacement there, but quite a long post.
Can I jump in there? It's so we are going to follow the 1 tree down, 2 trees up policy,
Great.
and this was not for convenience sake, it was because it was diseased and it was apparently it was a risk to both the museum, the road, and other trees. So it hopefully should end up being a net gain.
Great. Any other comments? Okay, then we'll move on to agenda item 6, which is the town centre manager update. Our vacancy rate is down to 6%, which is really good. It's almost back down to sort of what we call normal levels for Henley, I think, 5-6%. That's really encouraging sign. And then the Christmas sponsorship seems to be going really well as well. 15,000 so far. It's really good.
17,000.
17,000 now.
Great.
Councillor Hoskins.
Could I ask, what are the heritage open days and how are they expanding?
It's a National Trust run thing. It's the second year we've run it. It's where public buildings are open to given access to the general public when they're not normally. So we did it last year for 1 day, where we invited open the doors to this room and the committee room and parlour and upstairs. You can go and have a look. Sheridan took part, the mayor took part, and the town sergeant. Also, Councillor Eggleton was also involved, and it's a opportunity for people to come and see works of art such as these that adorn the walls, and find out a bit more about this building and its history, where they may not have had the opportunity in the past. We did it for 2 days this year, and it seemed to be pretty well attended.
So is it only going to be town council offices, or is there other locations within the area?
Yes, there's lots of other, we only take care of our own.
Sorry about that, guys.
The iPhone listens into.
So the River and Rome Museum also opened their doors for free
Yeah.
for 2 days.
We open our building here, the River and Rome Museum, Nuffield House, Rutherfield Way, Rutherfield Court,
Quaker.
Rutherfield, yeah.
Quaker House, the Lodge, Thameside
Yeah.
Lodge. So lots of other similar
Nice.
interesting historical buildings, and we pulled together a press release which includes all of them, so people can find out.
Brilliant. I'm pleased that we've done that.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. Councillor Eggleton.
Yeah, just filling in a few other bits on that. It was, yeah, very well attended. I was here for the 2 days here and then 1 day in the market. So the 2 days here, I was talking about the buildings, what was there before, and some of the paintings, and I was a lot of questions got asked about what happens here and what happens in there. So I give them all so you might find a sudden surge of people in the audience seeing how it actually all works. Because I think the only thing you need to do next year is to tweak it up here, is to do block bookings, say set times, because by the end of the day, you get 2 people in, so you go through all those things and everything else and all the other, another 2 people come in, and you're doing all the same things again. So if you do set blocks, so people turn up and set blocks, and then some people can tail in on the end, so that's it. Yeah, and I was in the marketplace, talking about the history of Henley and everything else, and the artifacts, I had all the artifacts of during the Civil War and talking about the bridge and the town and everything else, and we had some American, Canadian, Australian, quite a few different variety of people.
Cool. Councillor Candia.
Yeah, just say I was a bit gutted to have missed the open day here because I wanted to come and then work got in the way and I'm fit and so I also regret not seeing Sheridan dressed up.
Sheridan wasn't there.
I wasn't here,
Yeah.
was deputising for me and very well apparently.
So yeah, it was, I think us participating is really positive and I also made the most of the other open day, cycling around everywhere. Quite scary. I think there's something about, you know, what would you say are the kind of the aims of these heritage open days here? Like what is it we want to?
Just to be part of a good nationwide scheme, I think, and to be, you know, sharing the interesting historical aspects that this building has, which people don't really get a chance to see unless they're interested in coming to these meetings, which might look at it this evening. There's not so many people there. I don't think we've probably expanded beyond 2 days. I think we just focus now on making those 2 days better and maybe include the historical society. We've asked Viv to come and do some talks for the last 2 years and she hasn't been able to. So just to kind of make the offering a bit even better.
Yeah, I think
Improve on the year
that
on
would
year.
be great, and even if it's possible to keep the actual numbers, like knowing how many people walk through the door, 60
Yeah, we're at about 60.
over the 2 days. That's really
Yeah.
great. That's really
Great.
great. Sorry, and then another one was, could you help me understand what the life in good acting is?
It's
a good question.
The Lightning and Apple, this
That's at the top there.
Yeah.
really shows up those.
It's up the top
houses.
of West Street in that.
The big apple, it's a big apple. You know what was
It's
donated?
there's a sculpture which was presented by Lightning and who we twinned with several years ago. It's a sculpture of an apple with depiction of Henley and I think Lightning.
Yeah, like
It's
one of a pair.
It's yes. It's now in need of desperate refurbishment, and I've been having a look at it and got someone, a specialist, to come and assess it.
Okay, and the final question is, it's really great that you met the organiser of the Growing Repair Cafe. Any thoughts on what next?
It's very complicated. It's much more complicated than I ever imagined. You need loads and loads and loads of people to do it. They have to be very organised. You have to have a website. You have to have willing volunteers to come every time who know what they're talking about. It's not something that's going to be organised in 5 minutes. He's taken 18 months organising these and he's done 6 of them so far. So yeah, it's a big job. So, but it was very interesting. He's very happy to help in some ways, but he's not happy. He's not able to actually come and do them for us.
Right.
Thank you.
There is.
Councillor Hoskins.
May I ask the town clerk whether in fact for the Heritage Open Days, whether he's going to dress up as compared to last year?
The Heritage Open Days have already happened this year.
Oh.
And unfortunately, I was away, so Kath filled in for me.
But you did come in attire last year, didn't you?
I did, yes.
That is
Thank you,
wonderful.
our mayor, for volunteering the mayor's parlour for the.
Yeah, let's keep here in my office for a few days.
Councillor Watson.
Yeah, English Heritage is all week. It's not just for the 2 week.
Yeah.
The council do 2 days and I do a day separately from that to talk about the town and stuff. But it happens all over the town for a whole
It's
week.
a whole week,
Different-
all over the country for
All
a
over
week,
the
and you can open as long as you want.
And everything is, I mean, most of them, if I'm right, all the other ones are free, and some of the ones that you go to, that's the only time you get access to them. You won't see like the Freemasons, you won't be able to go in there other than those 2 days to have a look around at the building.
Councillor Watson.
Do you have an update, Paul, on the filming, how that's going? Whether anyone has actually done
Yeah,
I think we must be about halfway through the 6 months, is that right?
Yeah, yeah, it's, well, we had an update in the previous meeting, I think. Yes, I mean, she's basically doing what she's supposed to be doing, which is getting us onto the kind of all of the various places where people look for film locations. And we did have someone coming up to wanting to look around the town hall for a Netflix, Sky Arts movie thing. And yeah, it's not going to be an overnight one. This one, it's going to take some time to build up, but it's getting onto the location manager's radars. So continues to work, and we'll have another report coming before the end of the year.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Councillor Kandaya,
I mean,
did you have another question? Sorry.
I've got a question on a different topic.
Okay.
But I'm very happy with Councillor Kandai to come in, so I don't
So
want to make
it's
too
not-
much.
Thank you. It's not anything that you've written on your town centre manager update, but I'm very aware that we have the Illuminated Boats Festival that happens on the weekend.
Yeah.
Any town council with logo is advertised and the leaflets as well.
Right,
I'm just
we don't
really-
support it.
We sponsored it, haven't we? Or,
We gave it a grant.
Maybe with the grant.
yeah, we gave the grant.
It's not an event we run.
That's right.
So-
We gave money when
Yeah.
they applied for a grant, so
Sure.
I can't remember how much.
Okay, I don't know if this is the right forum, but it was a brilliant event. However, there is a but. The pedestrian safety on the bridge was incredibly dangerous.
Yes, it was.
And the fact that we have our logo on the leaflets means that there's a,
I reported the danger to the police on the night. So I leave it to them how they decide to deal with it.
The difficulty was, there was that run from London to.
Yes, the Thames Path.
And they, because I was there, and there they were at 8:30, coming over the bridge with their lights here,
Mhm.
having run all the way from London, they were just going to cross the road and go by the Angel and down there. And there were lots of buggies and there were lots of dogs and lots of families. And there's one woman there with her loud hailer
Yeah.
saying, "Stay on the pavements, please, stay on the pavements, please." How there wasn't an accident, I don't
Yeah.
know. So if they do it again, just make sure that this run doesn't clash.
It's difficult because it's not our event to run.
Well, we can make a comment to
We
them.
can certainly
We
make. a
certainly
comment,
won't give them
and
any more money unless they liaise more, with this event. I mean, it's amazing.
the
someone
Thames
wants to run
Path
it.
Coach is normally at a different time of year, from my recollection.
Mm.
well, I think my overall comment was, we have to be mindful of our residents attending an
Mm.
event which has Henley Town Council promotion on it. And it was very dangerous. I felt very sorry for the two stewards.
Yeah.
Once I crossed the bridge myself, I immediately went to where Rory was and tried to get as much attention as possible, saying, you have to do something because it is so dangerous. And thankfully, by the end of the evening, I saw that they had done some changes to
Had
implement
they?
one-way pedestrians and actually standing in the middle of the road to stop the traffic.
Yes,
So
cars
that
were,
pedestrians-
because the
Yeah.
cars didn't know
So-
what was happening,
No,
but she was stopping the cars and I don't know what authority she had to stop the cars, to let people.
haven't.
Well,
Close,
she had to, in order.
She had to, as common sense,
So
yes.
it's an element of how do we as Henley Town Council, aware that we've got two big events happening, is there a role that we can play to help enforce safety for all? And to give the runners, these poor runners running 100 kilometres,
They were
the space
exhausted.
and the time and their due respect to finish their run.
Mm.
It was a brilliant event, but highly dangerous.
Mm.
Good points, well made. Councillor Riceman.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the pavement washing. You did know, you've noted that Washforce made it. You've instructed them to make a special clean. Are you in the minutes of the last meeting? You said an update would be brought to the next meeting. Is that the update? Or is there there's a report to come? Is that?
We're still awaiting a kind of next meeting with Washforce
Yeah.
as to what they can do in which areas, and if it's increasing frequency, what that looks like. So that we haven't got to that yet. So
Yeah, okay,
hopefully by
fine.
next.
And a report will come to a future
Yeah,
meeting. Yeah, great.
Thank you, Paul. We'll move on to Did you want to say something or no? Okay, so we'll move on to item 7 now, which is finance, to consider the management accounts, page 21. Page 22. Councillor Hoskins.
Could I ask why is the Henny bus service, Henningham bus service, so dramatically below its year-end forecast?
Town clerk, sorry.
Unless Paul you wanted to.
No, no, please.
So the 25,000 is to fund an increase to a 5-day-a-week service. That service has not yet begun. Councillor Gavashak and Paul are still working on the proposal to expand it, but there's currently a shortfall in the funding for it. Until that shortfall is met, then it's not operating. Hence, the money hasn't been spent.
But you would still have £15,000 in the budget against £4,500 forecast. £15,000 being 3 days a week.
No, so the current service is already funded through Section 106 money and SIL. This funding, 25,000, is purely for the additional 2 days.
Which haven't happened yet.
Indeed,
Which is why it's zero.
exactly.
One of the things I'm thinking of is whether we should actually either ask T&C to move to electric buses, or alternatively think about the likes of Reading bus services, which have got lower emissions. And I think we need to think about that quite seriously.
It was thought about, that's very,
I
very.
assure you it was.
We've already been down that road, unfortunately.
Literally, it was run by Reading Buses with a
With a gas bus.
A gas bus indeed. We have, the current service is because that was not financially viable at all. And it looks like if we want to increase it to 5 days a week, it will need significantly more funding for those additional 2 days a week. And that is with the cheaper, smaller diesel powered bus. However, I believe there will be a report coming to the next T&C about it. So
Yeah.
I probably suggest that we have those conversations.
T&C does have electric buses.
TK, no.
TK Transport.
TK doesn't.
No,
Yes, they do. On their website, they do.
The one thing I know about it is that the electric bus wouldn't be able to come from Reading to here, do the circuits and get back. So it's unviable at the moment.
Okay.
That's all I know.
Okay. Councillor Rice.
To be clear, I know that Councillor Gabishak is very, as I certainly am, and plenty of others, we want to see a green bus. We want to see a zero emission bus service in the town. At the moment, we were very disappointed that going backwards from gas to diesel. The negotiations and aims continue, and as bus technology and the electric vehicle technology improves, we very much hope that we will be able to go to that. And also, if we can prove that the service is viable and it's used more, and if it's available on 5 days, more people will use it if it's there every day, and therefore the numbers will increase and revenue will increase, and the service can become more viable. We can the cost will be less on this council. So there are a number of ways that we hope in the not too distant future we can make the service both increase the number of days as we want to do, but also make it more in line with our climate emergency that we've declared.
Right, Councillor Dodds.
Just one thing, I hope in the budget that we don't remove the bus passes, because a lot of our funding for the bus comes from the bus pass. A lot of people using it, bus pass, and we get a certain amount of money, a percentage, don't we, back, which will come into the pot. And if they were to, there is rumour in the budget that they might actually remove the bus pass, and it would certainly affect us with the handy bus, because the whole thing is the handy bus, is they all have bus passes, and that's how they get a revenue from the county council.
Yeah.
So I just hope, having, you know, the £200 winter fuel allowance gone, I just hope that they don't take bus passes away. It would be devastating if they did.
Should we communicate that to the
Our new MP.
The MP, I was going to suggest we write to the MP and ask that
Yes.
he puts his weight behind retaining
Yes, we
this
hope
because it's
rumours
important.
are not true. But
This is something that helps keep our bus service viable, and again, all the
Exactly.
things that we've been talking
Exactly.
about, the importance of public transport for both accessibility and keeping
Yeah.
cars off the road.
Yeah.
So I suggest we do write to the MP and ask him to
Yeah.
intervene where possible to argue for the retention of the existing bus pass and the it's a £2 limit. So there's a £2 cap, isn't there? As well.
Yes,
So
yeah,
I expect
yes.
that is under threat as well.
yes, yes. So that, I'm happy to second that if you, that's a proposal.
Yeah, I'm happy to propose that we write to the MP and ask him to.
To second that, yeah.
It's the proposals to write to the MP and urge that he supports the retention of the free bus passes.
Free bus passes, yeah.
And the cap, £2 cap on fares.
And the £2 cap, which has been brilliant.
Yes.
That's seconded by Councillor
Yeah.
Dodds. All those in favour? It's passed.
Mm.
Councillor Eccleston, did you want to speak?
Yeah, it was just, because we're using seal money for the bus
Yes.
to run at the moment. But seal money is not going to last forever because seal money comes out of construction. And there's only so much construction that can go on around it. So at some point, there isn't going to be seal money to get that.
As I said, there will be a report coming to the next TNC with all the details for funding proposals for the bus moving forward. So I'd suggest that we leave that discussion until that meeting where we have all the information.
Fair enough.
Because we're talking about the buses in a minute, next thing, isn't it? Bus shelter.
Bus shelter.
Bus shelter.
No need, we haven't got buses.
Okay, so there are no further comments on the finances. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. We'll move on to item 8, which is the refurbishment of the town bus shelters. The report is pages 23 to 32. Councillor Eggleton.
I did say this quite a few years ago when we were talking about having new bus shelters put in certain areas. Some of them, I think, because they're a mix and match of loads of different types. I think some of them have got green roofs, not green roofs because they're dirty, but green roofs because they've got vegetation and stuff like that, which is good for the environment. And it's sort of in keeping with the area and wildlife and all that sort of stuff. But what I suggested last time is inside the bus shelters, like they do in Reading and everything else, having on the backboard or on the sides, whichever, if you're replacing the glass or the plastic or the perspex, whatever, is to put advertising boards in there. So you're creating a revenue from them bus shelters for people that are advertising. And then that revenue then can go back, so it can go back into a fund. I don't know how it would work on that side of it, but you could go back in and then that can go back into the running of the buses. So that's a revenue to be made on all the bus shelters in Hamley for local businesses.
It's not a bad idea.
A number of them do have a kind of a black panel where posters and stuff are there.
Yeah.
They aren't being used at the moment, so there is, I presume.
Especially businesses, so I mean, businesses is where you're going to get revenue from, not just events, not just events, the ones going on in the town.
There's some of them do have a frame where that kind of
Yeah.
stuff would be.
Yeah. Will be a bus timetable as well.
Yeah, that's.
Okay, any other comments on the refurbishment report? Councillor Candia?
Yes, so am I right in recollecting that there is a bus route that is being stopped from Tesco side? There was some.
I think so.
It's changed provider. I
Providers
don't
changed,
think
yeah.
it's stopped.
Reading bus are now running the,
Yeah.
the other bus.
Am I right in this?
Yeah.
That it was in Henslow.
I didn't hear the same rumour,
No,
It's a change of operator.
yeah.
but I'm not sure
Yeah.
it's true.
Change of operator, but they were also considering putting one of the routes. So I think it's just a question to make sure that the bus shelters are on active bus routes.
Yes.
They all are.
I think most of them are being used by the town bus as well as
Yeah.
Reading buses. The Viva and Carousel.
Okay.
Viva anymore, isn't it?
Yeah, the second point is I have noted that very sadly, that the green, this wonderful idea of having, the green roofs, is not compatible due to the glass pan roof. I just wondered how much
Oh, what?
research was put into that. I
Well,
can see some of
You
like.
can
that,
clearly
I'd
see
like to
that they are
see
not
that.
compatible.
Hmm.
You would need corrugated roofs for a start. You can't grow grass on a bit of perspex, so,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's quite clear that these are not compatible.
No, I think the one with the green, I think there's only one, but with the green roof, that was purposely done. When it was constructed, it wasn't something you could change afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is one.
There is one.
There is one.
There
but
is.
the-
I'm not aware of them.
There's one.
Where is that
I
one?
can't see any.
I thought there was one with, was it moss?
There's one with a bit of moss in it.
Is that
Oh, I thought that was-
mossy?
I actually thought there was one.
These
with
are
a-
leaves that have landed off a tree.
Is that? Yeah,
Just look at the pictures.
Yeah.
that's in Reading Road, isn't it?
I
Yeah.
thought that was right.
It's down at Tesco, that one.
Oh, right,
It's down opposite the care home.
okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to put green roofs on those ones, but they were done.
Right.
I propose we accept the recommendation.
Yeah, is that a second? I'll second that. You seconding or speaking? Seconding, okay, so that's.
Well, it's
both
passed.
seconded. All those in favour of the recommendation in 5.1 to allocate £31,000 to SIL for bus shelter refurbishment. All those in favour? Thank you, it's carried. And then last is item 9, which is progress reports. It's page 33.
New recycling bins,
Yeah, they're ordered,
waiting.
just waiting.
Mhm.
These bins will not be rushed.
Been there.
Oh
In.
dear.
Welcome back, Dave.
Mm.
Councillor Eggleton.
Bridge repairs.
Yeah.
I spoke to a stonemason and he said the easiest way out of that. Because you've already got damage on it and chemicals, they keep saying about you can't use this, can't do that. And they've said, even if you use the stuff to get out, you're still gonna see the H there anyway. But as a stonemason, he said what we would do is normally chop out. Is it like if you got porous stone, you chop out that area. And then replace it with stone, and that could have been done, that takes. The time frame is obviously contacting English Heritage and all that sort of stuff, but. Even if you was doing that from day one and said, right, let's chop that out and replace that. And put it down as fouled stone, that could have been done within 6 months if they were all agreed. And it's gone on and on and on. And the thing is, even if you do get a chemical to clean it, you like I said, you still he was more or less 100% saying you'll still see the H on there. So the only way of taking that out, and that's coming from the stonemason that deals with that sort of stuff on the all the
I think unfortunately, we just have to wait for OCC?
Other agencies.
OCC to sort it out, however they see fit, but it's taking a very, very long time. It's been more than 2 years now. It's ridiculous.
Either that or get someone to put the rest of HENLEY, so when the boats come down, they know they're in Fundy.
Innovative, I like it.
It's one way around it. Okay, Councillor Kandaya?
Yeah, so, the environmentally sustainable events, it's great to see that the market and events manager is going to be involved in the sustainable events course, so with the photo on the manager. Can you share a bit more about the sustainable events, please?
Yeah, when you start, next week or the week after, isn't it?
It starts.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's an online course, recommended course, and happy to share you the details. if you'd
Yeah,
like to have a look at it, yeah.
And then I just note that the last lot footbridge there that hasn't got their responsibility. To it.
hasn't. However, I believe the new MP has now.
Yeah.
It's already written to
He's
be,
already written the state, hasn't he?
yeah. so I think the responsibility now rests with Secretary of State.
Yes, so that
For
that
when?
could be actually added as an update
What's
there.
their
So,
initials?
Secretary of State. God.
anybody else?
I may as well update quickly on Townlands. As most people will know, we did meet, Councillor Gavishak and I did meet with the Oxford Health Integrated Care Board and OCC senior managers, and we were they were at pains to emphasise their commitment to the existing services in the hospital as a whole, for multiple reasons. And we issued a joint statement, which has now been appeared in the Henley Standard and other media outlets. And I apologise for not passing that on to councillors. It actually went out to town steering group members.
I did see the email you sent.
I only realised that it hadn't gone out to councillors when I was sort of preparing for this meeting, and apologies for that. That's the trouble with blind copies. You don't know who it actually went to. I wasn't actually sure whether it went to council or not, other than the fact that I hadn't seen a message that had come from the town clerk who issued it to. So apologies for the late arrival, but it was a very successful meeting. Firstly, we got the news that we wanted, which the services are going to be preserved or enhanced as they're reviewed, not cut, and that they have agreed where they do review services, they will come and engage with the community in future. I'd like to think that they've realised it's in their interests to actually engage rather than allow an information vacuum to form and unnecessary alarm and fears arise in the community. So it was good news both on services and on any future changes.
I think that both councillors should be should be praised for actually what they've done so far.
Well, I think that the main reason they came and talked to us was that we organised a town steering group meeting in here where about 80 people turned up, and the bad publicity that arose, which resulted in some genuine difficulties with their staffing issues. They realised that they couldn't go on like that, and so it really, everyone who turned up to that meeting, everyone who publicised the meeting, everyone who supported the aims of the meeting, which was to seek reassurance from the various stakeholders, they're the real people.
Yes, but you guys actually organised it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the point.
Yeah. So it was very successful. So we can. What I didn't say was that as part of that, they've agreed to provide more information on, for example, we haven't achieved anything on the lots of the beds that happened at the end of last year, and they have agreed to provide information on how discharges work from the Royal Berks and from the John Radcliffe, and they've agreed to meet us again in October, and that's another positive move. It backs up their commitment to maintaining engagement with the community. So it will continue the discussions and in a positive and constructive way.
Good, some encouraging updates. Great. Any other comments, Councillor Eggleton?
I think these Thameside South, you got these bollards, there was one I gave to Park Services, I'm assuming it's that one, because I spoke to a metal worker and they repaired a few where they put a sleeve inside, because they're hollow, you put a sleeve inside, drop it over, and then put this special cement stuff, which is basically like so you don't have to dig them out as long as you've got the right bollard for what one's been knocked over. Obviously the ones that can't be done and fixed, around the town, rather than someone coming out and doing two, why can't they, Oxfordshire County Council, come out, have a look, or Town Council, have a look at all the bollards around the town and do it all in one hit rather than just do two here and two there and
I'm not sure I can answer that. You want to answer that?
No.
Why can't we just do it?
I
it's
don't know the
just
details.
contacting Oxfordshire County Council and saying, well, these are the bollards, giving them a location of all these bollards and doing them all in one hit. And the ones that you can't, because you don't really want them looking odd, so the ones that can't, you're going to replace them with something completely different. If we can repair those ones so it keeps it in situ, because they normally snap off about that far away. At the
Yeah,
front.
well, at least one or two of them did actually snap off, rather than.
But
be
two of them
completely
are repaired
abrasive.
with a metal sleeve, so you
Yeah.
drop the sleeve in, drop it back over with some glue, and they're as good as new.
Yeah.
Just one other thing, you've got a repair cafe in Wallingford, it's just by the bridge on the left hand side. They run every month, and it's always advertised on their door. Like Paul was saying earlier, it's so many rules and regulations, public liability, all this sort of stuff. Everybody that does it has to be vetted and to fit in with that criteria. So it's not a simple fix. I think in some aspects, if we can tag off or get people that are organising them already to come out and do a place here, then that's an easy solution because they're already running. So if they're prepared to bring their people to, if we had a location to give to them and say either the one in Wallingford or the one in Goring or the one in Reading, and just say, would you like to come over and
That's what I was hoping with the guy from Goring, but I think it's so labour intensive, they can only really focus on doing the ones they're doing. That's what he was saying. He said it's the full on job. So he's a retired chap and it's pretty much all he does.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to be able to collar someone from another club, but I think it needs to be someone here with the motivation and the time to organise.
I did look into it, and it just goes on. You can't
testing.
the days of going where you think, oh, I'm doing something good and I'm saving the planet because everything's getting recycled and redone. It's just so complicated, and the liabilities on doing that stuff because each person that repairs electrical work face prosecution.
Everything has to be
if
pack
anything goes wrong.
tested. They do their own pack testing. It's complex.
The only other one is the ATM. It goes in there waiting quote but people that are reading this agenda, they wouldn't know where or what that's about, clearing site and ATM.
It's been discussed quite a lot and the details have been publicised.
It's
It's been in the newspaper, it's been in all of these reports.
Yeah.
It is widely known.
The area in where it is, where they got their two planters and the trees and got electric, the easiest way of getting rid of all that lot is to disconnect. Once the electric's disconnected, you can get a grab lorry in there, which would take all that stuff and clear it all in one hit.
I'm talking something.
I'm not sure. That's the issue. Councillor Candide.
So reason for the repair cafe, I really do appreciate the logistical and the other practical considerations and what a challenge it is. I wonder if we want to perhaps redefine the parameters and maybe go down the route of offering a bicycle repair thing, or just doing something.
You still have to
That
have
is
public liability, and someone wants to take
potentially
responsibility.
an opportunity that ticks something around, active travel. As mentioned, I went to the Nomads Community Day held at the YMCA. They had a bike chappie there who was happily, reviewing and repairing and doing services for bikes. So
That's Roger, he's left friendly,
Roger used to do it all the time.
Reverend Roger,
So I'm just wondering, maybe our approach of doing a massive repair cafe, we just need to consider what is actually possible by doing something rather than nothing.
He was very special, and if you went by his house, you'd have seen all the bicycles lined up there, and every Saturday and weekend people would, and he sold them. I mean, I took my
Went back into charity.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
He was very special.
That's fine.
You might find someone who wants to do that, but
Something
You'll be lucky.
smaller, narrower, or, you know, we've got a couple of repairing, sewing, mending things, it's just thinking about it in a different way.
When you started them?
Food for thought.
Yeah.
Right, any final comments? Okay, I see none.
Oh, nothing from me.
Okay.